Hi there, welcome to the first episode featuring guests. Today I have a very special one. He's French-Italian. He's a full-time consultant and a creative mind by default. He's a soon-to-be pilot and he's a successful entrepreneur. So, hi Romain, welcome aboard.
Hi Giselle, no pressure.
No pressure, no.
I wouldn't put the emphasis on successful, but thank you so much.
Apart from your full-time job, you actually have a business on the side.
I have a little business on the side that is not overstepping my full-time job capacities in any way. A few years back, I launched a clothing brand just for fun with a friend of mine. And I had the luck of being featured and sold in a lot of retail stores around France, and then managed to get it also exported across Europe and the US, and it was a really interesting and time-consuming experience. And nowadays I just let the e-commerce roll out, so there is not a lot to do. I don't advertise. You should advertise. There's a bunch of things I didn't do, but there's some of the things that I did, and we're very happy with the results.
And what's the name of your business?
So the name is CEDEX Paris.
Okay.
CEDEX being a code in France for special postal services. We chose the name because it's a name that everybody has on their envelope when they receive mail, but nobody knows what it means. CEDEX is just like, and it means in French, courrier à distribution exceptionnelle, which I learned when I researched the name. And the fun fact is that I trademarked that name in France, which the National Postal Service was very mad about. I tried to buy the name back from me, but ended up buying some products from my brand. So happy days.
Did that fire back at any point?
Not at all. They just tried to buy the name back, and I didn't sell it back, so I kept it. So I own the name CEDEX, and nobody knows what it means in France, but everybody knows it.
What came first, would you say, your brand or your product?
I'd say the product, because to clarify what we do, we're basically putting postal codes on clothes, so custom embroidery. I should have worn something from my brand today. Right. I'm very dumb, but Giselle will put it on screen. We embroider basically whatever postal code from around the world that you want. So when you purchase something on the website, you get it customized with the postal code you want. And if you are a retail store, you can either purchase the postal codes that are from the area of the retail store, or you can ask the retail store to have us make a custom for you that we send down the line. Okay.
And would you say that you faced some challenges while building your brand and business?
It is. I think it's super stupid to say, but any entrepreneurial venture is filled with challenges. The fact that it is hardware and something that you have to craft, something that you have to source the material for, manage the orders for, craft, and then deliver somewhere physically, this is to me one of the biggest challenges. The challenge that we encountered with my friend was that we had no experience in clothing design whatsoever, clothing manufacturing, or any of those things. We just learned as we went, and we started very shyly because we just bought a simple little embroidery machine. We managed to find actually some very good material. We were using the same fabric as Dior or Gucci, the one that they use for their t-shirts, and also the original caps, which was and is our bestseller. The caps I wore for 5 months during multiple trips in Latin America, like going in the water, so. I really tested the hell out of this cap model before we chose it. But the challenges are constant. After-sales services, mail getting lost, running out of material, machines blowing up at the workshop. You name it. Like, as long as if it's physical, something physical that you're selling, the limitations are going to be huge. The challenges are going to be huge, and also you have to think in terms of building every time a crafted custom product. We cannot produce 100,000 products because we don't know which postal code people are going to want.
Okay.
So the best we can do is do like expected things like the 20 districts of Paris and all that, but all of the others, we have orders from Singapore, from China, from London, and we never know what we're going to embroider. So this is a big weakness in the business plan.
Were your orders mostly coming from offline or online?
So we started online. We started with a lot of word of mouth because we only did a few photo shoots, which led to people like getting interest and selling to our friends, then friends of friends, etc. Giving some away. You have to give some away if you work in fashion. Unfortunately, you give some of your product away to the important people. But like we started having more and more traction online when we had a lot of retail stores selling our products. It helped a lot get the word out. Yeah.
Would you say your personal brand helped also with the word of mouth?
So definitely working with your personal network and the network of the founder, Marion, who was starting this gig with me, using all the resources, the photographers to do the photo shoots, the models, all the people who were producing content that could wear the products. Often how it would work is that I would have a friend who was a photographer, and he or she would like use a little bit of the studio time towards the end of a project to have the models wear my stuff, and the models would be happy to keep the stuff, and I would be happy to like have some qualitative content.
Yep.
So the network really helped set it up in a way that made it look legit really fast, because you're selling online. People like, it involves putting your credit card in, it involves a lot of things, so you want to show a lot of faces, you want to show legitimate stuff, you want to have like a cool Instagram full of content, full of happy people, good looking people wearing your stuff. Yeah. So this is how it starts, yeah.
And for you to have reached this network of people to connect with, you had to promote yourself first, right? Starting with what you do, who you are, why you're coming into the business.
Yeah, obviously, mostly with the retailers, it's important to put them in in a trust position that you're going to be able to deliver, that you're going to make the things that your contract is saying you're going to do. So you have to position yourself as someone who knows what they're doing, even though you have no idea what you're doing.
How did you manage to do that?
With a good attitude, basically, and also not lying to myself or to people when I didn't know about things. I'd say, I don't know about that, but I owe it to you to learn and to understand how to go about that. Because when things get more intense with bigger retailers like Le Bon Marché and all these big French actors that required hundreds or even up to 1,000 products per week in their location, you're signing basically a contract that this thick, and anything that goes wrong, I wouldn't know what would happen to me. But
okay, you were successful at doing that then. Since you're here
today. It's a
today.
little bit of stress, a lot of hustling, but it's something that is very enriching in all levels, humanly. Hardware, again, hard to make money, but we did make money. And also I learned a ton of things. I connected with tons of people, and down the line, honestly, the first time you see someone walking down the street wearing your stuff, you're like, you become like, you start stuttering, you want to go see the person, but why are you going to tell that person, I need your cap?
Can I take a photo?
Yeah, exactly. But I started being more comfortable and going to people and say, I appreciate that you're wearing that because it's my brand. I remember one marketing director from a big sneaker company told me she was at a festival and more people were wearing my stuff than her new sneakers from that big brand. So this was impossible to imagine to me, and I got more out of succeeding in that way than any money or any like success as a professional success that you can define.
If we were to tap in the digital aspect of things, mostly. You created your website and chose Instagram to promote your brand, right?
Mostly, yeah.
Okay, did you get any help in setting all that up, from design to website development to social media management?
So social media management we did ourselves. The website we did ourselves because now we have incredible solutions where you just move things around. When the team is on holiday, you can put a little pop-up saying your order. Like everything is so much easier than even maybe 10 years back when I was trying to do my creative portfolio online, and even WordPress was like a happy chaos.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's so easy for anyone to build a website. We had the content for the website that I wrote myself, because that's what I do. I write for a living as well. And all the lovely pictures from the people who volunteered to be in our fashion campaigns, and it made it look already super legit. The art direction was spot on, because Marion, my co-founder, was an art director, so she made it.
Nice.
She made the whole experience very premium. We met at Publicis Luxe, so we were working a lot in luxury. We wanted to offer that luxury feeling, even though it's a $35 kind of product, but still
it's
we
the
wanted
feeling
to...
you're selling, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you leverage your skill set and expertise in the corporate life, and did that help you get a push basically in the business that you're making?
Yeah, basically, obviously, as a creative director, handling a lot of the production aspects of my campaigns, you get acquainted with the logistics, the different deadlines, the dependencies, and how everything falls into place when you want to go from A to Z. So obviously, it helped me understand like all the implications in terms of logistics and flow of how we would operate. It really helped, even though my brand is like a very small brand. As I said at the beginning, moving anything from A to Z, crafting anything physical, requires a lot of organization. Whether you're big or small, you're just scaling the thing, but we were rather small.
Your medium of communication mostly was Instagram, apart from your website and word of mouth. How come did you choose Instagram?
We chose Instagram because with my network, Mario's network, the network of my friends who were excited about the idea and the brand, we managed to gather a couple thousand followers like really fast, and nourishing it with all the pictures from people doing like great qualitative shots on Instagram and videos. Doing some events where we would bring the machines to a big bar, and people would like embroider their CEDEX products on the spot. Those like really nourished the Instagram in a way that really fast you would look at it and you say, okay, that's a legit brand. Cool people, good looking people are wearing it. Like, it looks like something I could go for.
You said that you didn't do any advertisement at the beginning, so it was all organic.
All organic. This is something like I should have spent time on, but I never quit my job or diminished the amount of work I was doing for my normal day job.
Yeah.
I didn't get the balls to do that, never. So managing advertising was something that was very time consuming to me. Yeah. And I never really found the right person to onboard and do this side of the operations with us. So we did it ourselves, and I think at some point we advertised for €5 on Facebook or Instagram. I don't know, but we just tested
minimal
things
amount,
out.
basically.
Not really the core of the thing, which is stupid, because now we'll never know when things were huge pre-COVID, when the brand was at its peak. Maybe advertising would have brought. Maybe today, if I advertise, because what I love about the reaction of people with this brand is that every time they hear about it, they're excited. They don't know about it, but if they get told about it, they're excited. And this is how all the word of mouth managed to get us all these opportunities, because actually my biggest retail contracts was like people, head of buyers from big retail stores, calling me and said, hey, I was at a birthday and someone get gifted this. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're from, but I want this in my big department store. And you're like, I don't know if I even have enough legal existence to be there, but let's try, Yeah.
And how did that go for you?
It was a lot of fun. Also, I was blessed to not being the one who was building the prototypes, because that was Marion's side of the things. And she was very talented, but building anything when you don't know embroidery with a brand new machine that you never used, and the machine is not an industrial grade machine. When you start, it's like something or your grandma would have, electronic grandma would have in her basement.
Yeah.
And she managed to do like dozens of these caps at first before we managed to set up a partnership with a big workshop to get our things out, and it was exhausting to her. She sacrificed a lot of time, and me, I was trying to pull my weight as best as I could in terms of operational, finding clients, driving sales. But at the end of the day, she got exhausted, and she had to step back from the brand. Sadly, right before the main retailers hit us up. So that was bad, but she's still in the DNA of the brand, and she's still. I would have never had the guts to go forward with this without her. So.
Are you still in business?
I'm still in business. I'm not taking much care of it, to be quite honest. But just today, I'm happy. I had 12 orders.
Wow,
it's
still on.
One of them is very big, so it's just like it's pocket money, and honestly, it's still about having this little spark in your heart that any little entrepreneur has on Etsy. The people like when you're buying something from an artist or from like a designer on Etsy, you're buying like a little piece of joy. Like they have a little, they're not a big corporate brand, so every little purchases makes a difference.
That's your call to action now.
Yeah, call to action. CEDEX.Paris. Not even .com, we bought the .Paris.
If you were to change one thing about what you've done and about your business, what would it be?
I think it's easy to say in hindsight, but I think definitely giving it more of sacrifice, meaning that why not try to quit my job and do this full time, because a lot of people were pushing me towards that. The second regret, as discussed, would be like advertising it, investing more money so that we get more orders. We just went a bit half-assed, where we're like, okay, orders are coming in, we don't want to risk any money getting in, we're like very tight on everything. So now with the experience and 4 or 5 years down the line, I feel more confident putting like, hey, I'll put 10K, 15K, 20K towards that, and let's see what happens. And now I'm asking myself what might happen.
Yeah, why wouldn't you now?
I mean, little encounters like this one are the things that make me want to say, hey, you know what? Let's go. I almost associated myself with a childhood friend who's really good with e-commerce and growth. But unfortunately, our agendas don't quite match to get things going. But I know my brand is not like a very niche and time-sensitive brand. The basics that we do are very timeless, and a black cap is a black cap, a white cap is a white cap, a white t-shirt is a white t-shirt, etc. So maybe just like kick it up a notch, but I think it's gonna come, like everything that happened with this venture is gonna come with meeting the right person.
Yeah.
Because, for example, the workshop we had, I was about to give up CEDEX when Marion was exhausted and couldn't craft any more caps. And I basically walked down a street in Paris and I met an old friend, and he had just set up a textile workshop in that street.
Wow, what are the odds?
So maybe 1 week before I gave myself a deadline to give up, because I was getting orders and no one to make them. So I was going to have to reimburse everyone and walk in the sunset in shame. But it didn't happen. I met this guy and we went full speed, and after we met big retail stores, hundreds of orders, thousands of pieces. I think it's more like a destiny thing. You need to meet the right people. If you're lazy like me, if you're proactive and you like.
Is this a shout out for anyone who would like to invest in your brand?
It's like my message to the world is that it's okay to be lazy and still be an entrepreneur, but you'll end up half an entrepreneur like I am, not a full entrepreneur.
Would you want to expand to this region?
I have a few ideas of clothing brands for this region.
Okay.
I have an idea of a concept of matches as well.
Yeah.
Matches. I cannot.
Well, I was gonna keep that to the end, but yes, go ahead.
Okay. No. Just what I like about the region is that it feels very organic and very easy to set up anything, because in Europe and France particularly, the amount of paperwork is crazy, and I'm pretty sure I never feel all of that was necessary, but so far so good. And always little venture ideas. There's a dating app idea I have in mind, like
so many things. Yeah.
Any white boy in their 30s, they're like, I have a dating app idea. But like it's, even though I'm too cold turkey to quit my job, and I love the dynamic and the structure that an enriching job like mine gives me.
Yeah.
I still want that little extra thing that is completely mine and that is fulfilling, and just having the tiny bit of success in what you're doing is so fulfilling, honestly.
That's what sparks the feeling or the action of being an entrepreneur for you.
For me, yes. I think for a lot of people, it's the freedom, being your own boss and at your own rhythm. But I'm a bit scared to be at my own rhythm, to be honest. Like, will I be driven every day, or will I start being lazy with no one to be accountable for but myself, which is not a good person to be accountable for? I don't know. Maybe.
Is it because you're currently not at home, or you don't feel like you can start your own business and be independent here, for instance? Or
I mean, the security that a job gives you here with all the visa situation and the dependencies of on your company, I'd say going all in for me would happen if something is so huge that there is no way you can say no. Like the opportunity knocks and you're like, okay, this one is a full-on dedicating my life to, or at least a few years of my life to.
Yeah.
And I guess when it's the case, you get the feeling and you understand you cannot miss out on that. CEDEX to me was half. Maybe I would have given up everything and make a great living out of it. Maybe not. But I loved all the experiences I had on top of this experience while I was working on my different jobs in creative advertising.
Yeah, I'm sure in the new business or brand line that you'll be doing, you'll be benefiting from all the learnings and expertise you've had so far.
Even though I'm sure the region has more challenges, here being in a region where you depend a lot of imports and exports, the paperwork dynamics, I don't know, the rules and regulations. I know it should be easier than France, but I think the challenges would be different, finding the persons to work with and making everything smooth and operationally sane. I'm guessing it would be another like almost brand new adventure. But now I know how to fix the needle of an embroidery machine. I know which type of machine is good, which ones are not. Should always go with Japanese machine for embroidery. A tip for anyone out there.
Another question for you when it comes to your entrepreneurial spirit, basically. What role has creative, digital, and tech been playing in everything you do? And if you were to launch the same business that you have, which is CEDEX, but today, what type of tools or what type of things you would change in a digital space that you have today?
So obviously the digital tools that we have at hand are mental when it comes to how easy and how anyone can teach themselves how to make a website, teach themselves how to invoice, get orders in, link their website to a payment facilitator. I don't think that much change since I've set up CEDEX, but surely the logistics have improved. You lose less stuff. You have dozens of logistics actors that you can use on a small level, on a small scale. Payment solutions. When we started CEDEX, the little digital boxes, the payment devices that you can use during the events and with credit cards. So all of this is really, really making things easier on us, because like setting up payment with a bank is a hassle. Crafting a website 15 years ago required a dedicated person who was really busy and really expensive. I think today, with the rise of AI as well, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you can bullshit your way through. But I think just like advertising, people are going to learn to read through what an AI writes or an AI produces, hopefully, or else we'll all be out of a job soon. And you're going to be able, just like advertising, figure out, oh, this is not from a person, this is from a machine, just like spitting sentences that have no soul to them. I think AI is going to play a huge role. I think also, even though it's really hard on adoption, VR, which I'm a big user of, VR is going to be something very interesting in terms of marketing, because when you're in there, you're basically pioneering in a world with no advertising. And as advertisers and as creatives in advertising, every time we're in an experience in a VR headset, you're like, but there could be like a Coca-Cola can here, there could be a billboard about this Amazon Prime show over there. And those are things I now see. I actually saw in a zombie game, Walking Dead game, in VR. I went to a house and there was a billboard for a new show on Amazon Prime. Wow. Within the game. So I paused instead of like, I paused shooting everything. Damn, that's a good idea. That's like really good. And yeah.
When it comes to the rising generation of today, what advice would you give if they were to launch their own brand?
Oof. The new generations.
Yes.
Those damn kids. The advice I would give is that I think the hardest thing, even for me, and might be also a challenge for a new generation, is what I call what is called total responsibility, total accountability, and understanding that as an entrepreneur, even though it's not your fault that a parcel gets lost with your shipment, it's not your fault that your website is down, it is your responsibility. And I feel that the most important thing you have to understand is that you have to understand that it's not unfair, that it's not easy. It's not unfair, it's not on you. And because it's your thing and it's your adventure, you have to be ready to clean your own toilets, you have to be ready to change your own light bulbs, you have to be ready for things that you could not conceive were going to be done by yourself. Yeah. So total responsibility, which is a concept that I think was developed by the Navy SEALs or the Marines, meaning that you're responsible for everything. You cannot say, but that was that person's job to do this. If that person didn't do that job and you knowingly didn't do anything about it, that's on you. Yeah. So I think that's the hardest challenge, in my opinion, for new generation, because the spirit that they're coming with is mostly like, we don't want to get exploited by corporations as much as some of us might have been in our generation. They hold authority more accountable than we might. But when it comes to doing your own thing, you have to understand that it's your money on the line, it's your time on the line, it's your close future. You're not going to risk your life or anything unless you're going on a entrepreneurship session that you shouldn't be doing by law. But you if you get that mindset of like, everything is on me, and I have cousins who are 22, 24 who are already much more ambitious entrepreneurs than I ever was. Honestly, you're setting yourself for an easiest ride, with emphasis on easiest.
Easiest.
It's not going to be easy.
This was very insightful. I want to thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you, Giselle, for having me and let me talk my nonsense.
No, my pleasure. Okay, beautiful people, that was it for today. I'll see you next time.